Hello everyone, let's continue our lesson. In this video, I'm going to show you some YouTube videos which talks about the grammatical items that we are learning. So watch the video first, and then in the later part, we will do some exercise.
Welcome to On-Screen English with Steve Marshall. Lesson 14 is on present simple for timetable future. In English, you can talk about the future using the present simple when you're talking about timetable future events. In this sentence, the announcer at a station says the next train to London leaves at 18:30. Why does the announcer use present simple to talk about the future? Because the future event is on a timetable or schedule. Let's look at this on a timeline. The announcer, represented by A, makes the announcement at 17:45. The next train to London leaves at 18:30. The announcer uses leaves in the present simple. Let's look at the form for the present simple, using the sentence, the next train to London leaves at 18:30. So the sentence begins with the subject, the next train to London. Then we have the verb in present simple, leaves. Remember the S for third person singular. And it finishes with a future time on a timetable. Now we're going to do a task for the present simple. Complete the sentences below by filling in the gaps with a verb in the present simple tense for timetable future. Here are the answers. Number 1, I have a meeting tomorrow at 11 o'clock. 2, a flight to Bogota leaves or departs at 2100 hours. 3, the class begins or starts in 10 minutes. And 4, the concert takes place at the stadium tomorrow. Here's a summary of the lesson. When do we use present simple for future? When the future events are on a timetable or a schedule. For example, the next train to London leaves at 18:30. Here the present simple is used because it's a timetable future event, leaves. Thank you, that's all for now.
Alright, so we are going to watch one more video, and this time the video will teach you how to form a sentence using simple present tense in a negative form, alright, in a negative form with the word not to show a scheduled event.
Hello, and in this lesson we are going to look at the simple present tense, and we're going to talk about scheduled events. So when you talk about the simple present, you think right now the activity is in the present, but actually we often talk about things in the future using the simple present if it's a scheduled event. So for example, if we have the plane departs at gate 3 at noon, so noon is in the future, but we use the simple present because it's a scheduled event. And here we have the game starts at 12:15, and down here, classes at school begin next week. So these are future time references, but we use the simple present because the event is scheduled. Now, let's take a look at using this for negatives. So here we have not until and not for. So for example, the movie does not end until 3:30. So the ending is in the future, but we use the simple present. Here, classes don't start until October. So if it's a date or a time, here we have a time or a date, we use until. We use for if it's a duration of time, a length of time. So an hour, a month. So for example, number 3, my plane doesn't leave for another hour. We use the simple present to talk about a future event. Here, my vacation does not start for another month. We use the simple present to talk about something scheduled in the future. And that's it. I hope that helped, and talk to you soon.
Alright, so after watching the videos, I think you have a brief idea about how we use simple present tense to talk about schedules and timetables. So now it's time for exercise. You can see the exercise here on the screen, and they are not in your English book. Alright, so just watch just see the screen, watch the screen, and you can do the exercise here, or you may jot down the answers on your notebook, and then I will check the answers with you later. Okay, so there are 8 sentences here on the screen. I'll give you 1 minute to finish these 8 sentences. Okay, do it now. So time's up. Let us check the answer. Number 1, the train arrived in London at 3:45 p.m. So the subject, the train, right? The train is the subject. And of course, it is a third person singular. So when you put the verb arrive in the answer, change it to simple present tense, and you need to make the verb agree with the subject, right? Subject verb agreement. So that means you have to change the verb arrive to be arrives. Number 2, the lesson starts in 10 minutes. So once again, the subject, the lesson is the subject, and it is a third person singular. So you will change the verb start with S to make it agree with the subject. Number 3, the show begins at 6 o'clock. The show is the subject, it is a third person singular, so you will change the verb begin and add S to it. Number 4, my sister's birthday be on Tuesday. So when you come across the word be, this is a verb to be, you have to be very careful. So try to recall your memory for the word be. when it is in a simple present tense, how many options you have, how to change the word be. Yes, you can change it to is, am, are, right? Is or am or are. So in this sentence, which one should we use? My sister's birthday? Yes, you should use is. So my sister's birthday is on Tuesday. Number 5, the train for Paris and the train for London both leave at 6:25 a.m. So now for this one, it's a bit different from the previous sentences because when you look at the subject, the train for Paris and the train for London. So that means how many trains are there? One train or two trains? Yes, there are two trains. One of them go to Paris and then the other one go to London. So there are altogether two trains. It is not a third person singular, but this is a plural nouns. So that means when you use the verb leave, you do not have to add s, right? Just use the basic form, leave. Number 6, the music festival end on Monday. Easy, right? So it's just similar to the sentences in question 1, 2, and 3. So you put an S there. Number 7, similar. The next train come in 25 minutes. So you say the next train comes in 25 minutes. And then for the last one, number 8, the exhibition on the 18th century art open next week. So once again, the exhibition on 18th century art. Now in this sentence, in sentence number 8, the subject is a bit long. Altogether there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Altogether there are 6 words. The exhibition on 18th century art. This whole phrase is a subject. And it is a third person singular. The exhibition is the third person singular. Alright, so still we will put the verb open with an S to match with, to agree with the subject. So opens. Alright, so you can see all the answers on the screen now. You can check the answers once again. So in the last part of this video, we will do one more exercise, and this exercise is on page 106 in your English textbook. Page 106 in your English textbook. Okay, so look at the questions. You are organizing an event to raise awareness of gambling addiction. You are drafting an email to the volunteers. Complete your email using the correct form of the words below. So of course, this is the exercise for you to practice using simple present tense to talk about schedules and timetables. So you will use the words here given. There are altogether 6 words. The first one, be, close, and, enter, give, and take. Alright, so use these 6 words and put them in the correct form to fill in the blank. I think I will do number 1 and 2 with you, and then I will leave the others questions for you to do it by yourself. So let us look at the first paragraph. Dear volunteers, thank you for helping with the Gambling Addiction Awareness Day this Saturday. Here are some details about the event. So you can see this event will be done this Saturday. That is a future time, a future event. But because all the events are planned, all the events are scheduled, and they are not likely to be changed. That's why we can use simple present tense to talk about it. So let us look at the first answer. The event plays in the school hall. Which word should we choose from the above? This sentence means that where will the event be held? It will be held in the school hall, right? It will be done in the school hall. So which verb should we use? We will say take place, right? We will say take place in where? It take place in school hall. But when we use the word take, how do we change the form? The event is a third person singular, right? The subject, the event is a third person singular. So we will change the verb take with an s, put an s there and make it agree with the subject. The event takes place in the school hall. Okay, number 2, guesses the hall at 1:45 p.m. So I hope you can all arrive at 11:45 a.m. to help set up. So that means a guest means the people coming to the event, right? Because they may invite different people. Maybe they will invite the teachers, maybe they will invite the students, or maybe even the people in the community. So all these people coming to the event, we can call them guests. So in this sentence, actually means the guests, they come to the hall. Alright, they come to the hall. But we do not have the word come here. So there is another word have the similar meaning. Yes, we can choose the word enter. They enter the hall. That means they come to the hall. The subject is guests. It's a plural noun. So do we need to change anything to the verb enter? No. We can just use the basic form, enter. Okay, the guests enter the hall at 1:45 p.m. So you can see the answers on the screen now. I'm showing you the answers for number 1 and 2. So please continue to do the exercise and finish the questions number 3 to number 6. Your subject teacher may check the answers with you later on. That's the end of the lesson. See you.